So just like the warriors Napoleon Hill described, burn those ships, get rid of them. There's no option anymore for cowardly retreat. You are brave. You are strong. You are capable. You are absolutely possible.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Champion Circle. We're excited to be here tonight with all of you and jump on and be able to learn together tonight. Tonight, we are going to be entertained and taught and learn from Jon Kovach Jr. He is the founder of Champion Circle, the global mastermind leader, best-selling author, and international motivational speaker. And I've been privileged to be able to mentor with him and work together for the last few years. And tonight is one of my favorite topics that he teaches, and just he he's able to get us excited and help us put our plans into action. So tonight our topic is our virtual workshop is on accelerating desires into results. So with that, we'll turn it over to Jon.
All right.
Welcome,
I am
Jon.
super excited to be here. I'm going to add myself to the spotlight and say, first of all, Lauren, thank you. And before I let you go to the audience, we've had some good times. I mean, we've been together for a few years now, running Champion Circle and understanding these methodologies. And I got to ask you before I get started, how has Think and Grow Rich influenced your life?
Majorly. uh, it honestly it opened up a whole new level of thinking and application. And I think what has really helped was being with Champion Circle and applying it as we were learning it, because it wasn't just a book I read, it was something we were actually working on and moving forward with. Like every month we talked about the principles, what did we do, like how we took those action steps, and being able to mastermind it with everybody in the way that the book talks about it. Like really it changed my life dramatically.
I love that. And similarly to you, I picked up, got my copy here, picked up my first copy of this book, Think and Grow Rich, in 2016. And this was when I had some major decisions to make in my life. The biggest one was, was I going to continue down the path that I was currently on in the career and the business that I was doing and fulfill that part of my life, or would I take what I learned here and immediately put it into action? And I'll tell you what, the first time I read this, I mean, I'm not even 30 pages into this book when I realized it was an absolute no-brainer. I was burning my ships, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and I made the decision. It was an interesting transition, but I'll share that story in just a minute. But thanks,
Yeah,
Lauren. And
you're
I'll be
welcome.
I'll be calling on the audience a little bit tonight to chat and share with us. But just want to say thank you for the warm welcome, and I'm really excited to teach this. Now, for those of you in the audience who have attended this one before, again, we start off the year talking about an incredible topic, and I'll share the topic for today. It is accelerating desires into results the think and grow rich way. And this is something that I have just completely gotten behind, and my entire life has transitioned into focusing on these methodologies. So, whether you're familiar with the book, whether you've picked up a copy yourself, or you've heard of it but you've never read it, let me walk you through some important aspects to this particular um, process. And I'll be brief, I'll be interactive, we'll have a few moments, but I want to invite you first to get your notebooks out. Okay, I literally have I'll have to put it in front of me. I have my notebook here in front of me and something to write with, because you're going to be feeling inspiration throughout this presentation that's going to lead to what I should be doing on a day-to-day basis. So that's very important to remember. Get ready to write some notes, and don't necessarily write down what I say, but write down what you feel inspired to write down, because everything you gain from this particular workshop and training is going to give you insights. Now, one thing I have to share is that as a best-selling author, one of the books that I've had the honor and privilege to write is this one right here. This is called The 13 Steps to Riches. And we co-authored with Eric Swanson, who is the creator of this series, as well as Dennis Waitley. Dennis Waitley is a New York Times best-selling author. He wrote The Psychology of Winning, The New Psychology of Winning, and he was NASA's performance coach for astronauts and those heading into space. This man is intelligent, and when it comes to the first principle of achieving riches, or the 13 steps to riches, which is what Napoleon Hill teaches in Think and Grow Rich, he talks about the number one principle, the one thing we need to get started. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about accelerating desires into results, because desire is the number one step in the right place, and the right progress, and the right direction to where you want to go. So I was telling you about the decision I needed to make. And that decision was, I was working for a really great job. I was in a cushy, amazing salaried position. My tenure was planned. I had investments in the company, and I was in a really good spot. I was the publicist and PR director or manager of a company. I was directly supervised by the chief communications officer and the director of marketing. Both of them were my bosses, and there was no one between us, and there was no interns. I was the intern promoted after graduation to that position, and we had a robust team. Now, very quickly, this company trusted me with the public relations tactics and strategies and implementations for a bunch of new offices that we acquired in an acquisition of the company. The company transitioned from Coldwell Banker Commercial to Colliers International. And in that process, I was now managing our New York City, Manhattan offices, one in Florida, Miami, Florida, Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas. I was also operating out of Scottsdale, Arizona, Colorado, Denver, Colorado, and then a few in California, including the Los Angeles and the I want to call it Ventura County, but it was all a really cool thing, and a few other locations that we'd worked on too. But needless to say, these were under my jurisdiction and sort of my understanding, and I was in a good spot. Like, I was gonna probably ride this out to a really great place. And it happened on a morning where I got out of my fancy new vehicle that I was super excited to sport. I was wearing those really nice dress shoes that click when you walk. And I opened the doors to this beautiful Class A office building where I roll down to the elevator and I get in with some of my colleagues and some of the other people who work in this office place. And we hit the elevator to my floor. And as we get out, the opening doors of the elevator open and we're laughing and joking. It's a great morning. And then I'm, hot to trot and I'm walking around the office and I'm pointing at all the people and saying, hello, good morning, you rock, and saying hello, making my rounds. And finally, I sat down at my desk. My desk was two doors down from the CEO's office and also kitty corner to my boss. And it was just a great environment. I loved it. It was awesome. But somewhere deep inside me, there was something missing, right? And although I loved the people I worked with and I didn't mind the job, there was something missing. And importantly enough, I listened to my intuition and I listened to my gut. But I'll tell you what, and I'll just grab an example today because it's in one of my suit coats. But I was sitting there working on my desk and I knocked my pen off my desk. And when you do that, it always goes to the worst place you can conceive. Like it goes to the deepest, darkest corner of anywhere. And it's just a hassle, right? So I get up in my new tailored, nice suit and I get on all fours and I'm crawling underneath my desk. And as I'm reaching for that pen in the dark corner underneath my desk, something came over me and my subconscious literally spoke through me and I heard it say out loud the words, I wish I could hide under here all day. And that was hard for me to understand or grasp. But as I picked up this pen, shuffled my way back to my chair, and thought about what had just happened, I was for the first time in a while expressing what I really, really was feeling. I was masking what I was feeling by saying, yes, I love who I work with. Yes, I don't mind the job. I write press releases each week. I do marketing campaigns. It was fun. I enjoyed the work and I had studied for it. I spent 6 years in college studying to be one of the best public relations students in the nation. And I had gone so far down this hole, down this rabbit hole to that breaking point where my subconscious, my gut, my intuition spoke to me, and I realized I had been living the lie that I had been telling myself that this is what I actually wanted. And I want to ask you tonight, I want to ask you that question and be thinking about it. And as you're taking notes and writing things down, I want you to be writing down what it is that you want. In fact, I encourage you, you guys know what a T graph is. You know what a T graph is. Okay, you draw a line across and then a line down the middle of the page, make a T. And on one side of the T, I want you to write what I want. And as you listen tonight, I want you to take an opportunity to write down what it is that you want. So you see the whiteboard here. It should be sharing the screen here pretty soon. I can't see everyone else, but give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can see the whiteboard. Okay. You guys know what a T graph is. So you take this, boom. Okay. Want. I have great handwriting. I should have become a doctor. Okay. There's what I want. And I want you to just start making a list of things that you really, really want. I mean, this is like that song. Did you see that, Lauren? Thumbs up if you did.
It didn't show what you were drawing.
Oh, it didn't? Okay.
I don't know if it's just because I'm on your end, but
Oh, I'm not sure why either, but that's
Willie
okay.
says yes, he saw it.
Yes, I could say, okay, as long as you guys see it, that's great. So you guys get the point, and I'll explain the other side of the T later. But again, this was an opportunity for me to make a decision. And in that moment, I had a really hard choice to make, because I had a family at home that I had to support. I had bills to pay. I had things I needed to do. But deep down within me, I knew that just writing press releases for the next 10 years and engaging in these really cool projects wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. And I was ignoring my destiny because what I truly desired was something that I had known for a very, very long time. And that was to be a speaker, to be training, to be educating, to be helping and motivating and leading. And all of that comes with credibility and experience and recognition and so many other things. Well, it doesn't happen that I think the biggest coincidence was just that week was the first time I had picked up this book, Think and Grow Rich. And as I got through the pages, I landed on a chapter called The Mastermind Methodologies. And I knew that that was exactly what I wanted to be teaching. I went and attended a couple masterminds. I learned how much I love that environment and how it has accelerated my results. And in a moment of bravery, I took that pen that I had knocked off the desk and I used it to write my letter of resignation to my bosses, letting them know that I had some incredible things I needed to get to. And with that confidence, I knew that the methodologies that I had read here would keep me afloat, would give me every motivation I needed to get exactly what I desired. And tonight, I want to teach you that aspect, what that takes, what that entails. And I want to lead you off with something that my Champion Circle members are always familiar with. Every quarter of business, every 90 days, we do in what's called a desire statement. And a desire statement is something that Napoleon Hill teaches us to focus on, to build, to always have with us. I always have a ripped up piece of paper like this with me at all times. That is my desire statement. And I repeat this to myself every single day. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But getting back to the story, yes, I quit my job and I moved in a direction that was more authentic to who I was. And that included attending, leading, participating, and facilitating mastermind groups so that I could teach and train and help other people across the globe. This led to me flying to different states, counties, and doing so in a way where we would teach the methodologies. And these methodologies ultimately helped people achieve their goals so much faster. And I want to teach that to you. So stick around, come to learn more about Champion Circle and find out for yourself what it is that we do to help others, especially like you, to overcome their greatest obstacles. Now, I got to tell you, what is desire? I'm going to open up. I've got a whole list of books here and I'm really excited. In fact, I'm standing. This is a lot of fun. You guys, if you're ever going to do a webinar, stand, don't sit. It's incredible. Let me start with this one. Actually, I'm gonna deviate. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna open up this book. Okay. I'm just gonna open up to that first chapter. Okay. And I think you should hear this because desire specifically, what is desire? And let me give you just a brief excerpt, okay? So stick with me, and then I'm going to ask for some participation. And please keep the chat going here. I'm going to cue a little bit of music so you don't just have to listen to me, okay? But here it is. So when Edwin C. Barnes climbed down from the freight train in Orange, New Jersey, more than 30 years ago, he may have resembled a tramp, but his thoughts were those of a king. You see, as he made his way from the railroad tracks to Thomas A. Edison's office, his mind was at work. He saw himself standing in Edison's presence. He heard himself asking Mr. Edison for an opportunity to carry out the one consuming obsession of his life, a burning desire to become the business associate of the great inventor Thomas A. Edison. Let me go back and just iterate this because look, this to me is the definition of burning desire, okay? He heard himself asking Mr. Edison for an opportunity to carry out the one consuming obsession of his life, a burning desire to become the business associate of the great inventor Thomas A. Edison. I will put this down for a second and just share, put a little bookmark in there. Obsession. What are you obsessed with? What do you love? I have a friend who's absolutely obsessed with Korean pop and dramas. I have a friend who's absolutely obsessed with volleyball. Okay, I'm talking about myself. I have somebody who is absolutely obsessed with arts and crafts and making things feel homey. I have a friend who's absolutely obsessed with water sports. And I have other people who are obsessed with leadership, with entrepreneurship, with making money, with overcoming challenges. Some people are obsessed with health and fitness. Some of you are obsessed with films and fantasy or books and stuff like that. And whatever it might be, that's an obsession. That is a desire. That is something that you care so firmly about that it gives you purpose, it gives you mission, it gives you drive. And it is something that we all feel throughout our lives. It's an absolute incredible feeling. So I ask you, if you've got your T chart there, great. I see a smiley face from Leanna. Thank you, Leanna. I absolutely think that you need to decide and decipher between the clutter of life what it is that you truly desire, what it is that you want. Because sometimes we just forget what it is that we want. And in this moment of this pen, I realized I wasn't doing what I wanted to do, but I was justifying the fact that I had a brand new, beautiful suit on, that I was working two doors down from the CEO, who happened to be the founder of the World Financial Organization of Utah, like the trade centers of Utah. I worked for an incredible billionaire who was, in my opinion, the Batman Bruce Wayne of Utah. Like, I had some great things going for me, but yet it was inconsistent with what I actually wanted. And let me say, on a personal note, I'm leaning in here. I've got my microphone. You can't see it because of my screen, but got my microphone right here. And I want to say personally, as I look into the screen here and I try to see and connect with you in your eyes, I want you to know that I see you and I understand. And no matter what, no matter when we made the choices that we made, it is never, ever too late to chase your burning desire, the obsessions that you have, the dreams that you carry, the things that keep you up at night with joy and excitement, the things that get you out of bed in the morning because of your interests in them. Those desires are absolutely, absolutely vital to your, not only your existence, but your contribution to this world and life. And I hear you, I see you, and I empathize with what it is that you want. Now, how do we do that? I'm going to open up. I'm going to open up this one. I have a mastermind copy. It's a thick journal for the Think and Grow Rich booklet. And I want to ask you this question. Okay. Do you know what desire means for you? I'm going to go to the beginning of this and I'm just going to write down this is a quote by Raymond Charles Baker, and he says, "Your heart's desires are your great assets. They indicate the experiences you can have when you make your decisions to have them. They are mighty potentials awaiting your attention, and they should never, ever be ignored." I think that desires are the foundations for all great success. I believe that desires are the things that really keep us going. And you may have buried desires with necessities, with needs, with hopes, with wishes. But truly, honestly, and deeply, a desire is something that leads to more than just a want, but it leads to faith. And I'm going to list off the 13 different steps to riches here, but it causes faith to be strengthened. It creates a mechanism in your body and in your soul called the power of autosuggestion. It also helps you in organized and specialized planning, as well as specialized knowledge and what you gain and receive because of your personal interests. You begin the process of using imagination to get what it is that you want. And also, you use this to make decisions in your life. You also use this to persist, to overcome, and to focus on the trails and the journey that you want to achieve. You also use this in many ways to collaborate and include others along that journey, which is through the power of masterminding. And also, that energy is something called transmutation, which I love. We'll get into that later. And then the subconscious mind and the brain and the sixth sense of human beings all come into play. But the foundation, the formality of any of these successful principles starts with desire. So, what do you want? What is your desire? I'll tell you one more story and then let's get into some activity here. I have always wanted to be a really great athlete. In fact, I used to watch the Olympics. I used to watch the Olympics as a kid, and I wanted to be one of the best. In fact, embarrassingly enough, I uh, I saw that the track and field athletes on the Olympics wore these singlet, tight, spandecky, leotard type running suits. Okay, and I thought, man, that's what they do. I need to do that too. So I went running upstairs and I went rolling through people's drawers and their closets, and I found something that sort of resembled what looked like what they were wearing. And it ended up being one of my sister's silky nighties. And, anyways, I put that on and thought, this is going to make me fast and I'm going to run like an Olympic athlete. And I run outside the front of my house and I'm running around the neighborhood in the cul-de-sac and I'm yelling, I'm going to be a champion. I'm going to be a champion. And I just wanted so badly to feel like I was one of those athletes on television. And that became a desire, a dream of mine. And to a certain point in my life, I've had some incredible stories, experiences as an athlete. And I was not always the greatest athlete, but I fulfilled so many accomplishments because of a burning hot desire, an obsession to be the best, to win. And that competitive drive led me to some amazing experiences, including a championship, which included a team of mine competing in the 4x800 meter relay. Four people running 800 meters each around a track, passing a baton off. We were going up against the nation's best. And we are up here in a tiny little armpit of a town called Pocatello, Idaho. And those who know. And if you don't ever go there on purpose. Okay, so Pocatello is where the indoor national championships were held. And we're going up against the best. And I was always the fourth runner. They call that the anchor. The anchor is the fourth runner on any relay team. They're the person who needs to clean up any messes and finish the race. That's the role of the anchor. And as my third teammate is running his 800 meters, we got passed up by like three or four teams that were making early moves and trying to direct us to the back of the pack to finish the race. So I knew in my brain that in order to win this race, I must pass like 6 or 7 people. So it was going to be an all-out sprint, which if you know anything about track and field, most people think, oh yeah, the 100 meters. Yep, that's one straight run, uh, uh, no curves, just the straight line across the track, right? Well, 800 meters is 8 times that. You run 2 laps around a major track, and that's hard to do at full speed. Most people can't even do 200 meters, like 400 meters, but 800. And when I received the baton, I had nothing but a burning desire and an obsession to pass these people. And every time that I would pass somebody, I would yell the word kill. That's just a little running jargon. Anytime you pass somebody in a race, you yell kill. And we're running. And so I'd count it up. I'd go 1 kill, 2 kill, 3 kill. And I needed to pass 4 more people in order to get into the top three, to get to the podium. And as I'm flying around the track in these corners, I'm holding my best efforts to get into this race. And I could see my target. And when I saw his jersey, the last guy I needed to pass, it's like the jets turned on. And if anyone knows me, they know my history. I used to go by JJ. My name is Jon Kovach Jr. JJ is John Jr. So I turned on the jets, the JJ jets, like JJ the jet plane. And I just let it all out on the track. And as I'm pumping my arms and running and flying like I'm just a fiend, I found myself crossing the finish line neck and neck with one of the teams that we needed to beat. And as I flew across that finish line, I knew that we had done it. We had earned the title of second ranked, second best relay team in the nation. That was the best our team and our school had ever done. And I was a champion in that moment. I knew standing on the podium, receiving that medal, that I was something that I could apply for the rest of my life, because it's not just athletics. It's not just athletics. Just because you're not in a sport or an athlete doesn't mean you're not winning. Just because you are a regular human being, you have burning desires, you have things that you want to achieve. And that is something that is impactfully important for all of us. So don't forget, you can set your sights on a burning hot desire. What does this all mean? Why is it important? Well, let me share with you a couple ideas, because a burning hot desire is something that we should all consider to do. And I'm going to give you I'm going to use the whiteboard if that's okay. So Lauren, let me know if it works for you or not. But let's bring up the whiteboard again. All right. And I want to just share with you a couple thoughts that I want you to just consider. So let me go back here. I'm going to exit out of this. And Lauren,
It's
just let me.
working this time.
Oh, it is? Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay. So there's something important for us to all consider when it comes to desire. And I'm going to teach you guys how to write your desire statements. And I know for people like Leanna who have been with us for years, and for those like Willie and Lauren, again, I know we've done this so many times, but you're going to learn something new that you haven't learned before, because this is a powerful process. And I ask you, even if you've done this a couple weeks ago, even if you've done this already this year, recommit, write it out, because just like writing it out, it will be like reaffirming what it is that your goals are. But I follow a process of writing down my desire statement, which is ultimately going to help me to achieve what I want to achieve. Okay, my desire statement, and I'm going to put it at the top here like this. This is my statement of desire. Okay. The first thing I'm going to recognize is the exact amount of money I desire is. Okay, I'm gonna put a little space here. I'm gonna put a number sign, and I'm gonna put some line here. Okay, but the reason why I chose money, and you might ask yourself, why did we go straight to money? Well, here's the deal. In order to think and grow rich, you need to understand what exactly you want to achieve, but also what is necessary to achieve that. I want to travel all over the world, and I can't do that without money. I can't do that without something that's going to compensate the people that serve in those industries to allow me to ultimately achieve my desire. So, in order to achieve that, I want money. But let's just say, for the fact that maybe you don't just want it to be about the money, maybe you've got other things that you want to focus on. And let me give you a list of things that you can kind of consider. Let me pull up one little thing here on my end. I have a great example of it, and I'm just going to copy and paste this. Um, because me and the team were designing some questions around our sprint goals one day, and we were talking about the various topics. Let me bring that back, go over here. Boom. So, things to consider, and I'm just going to skip on down here. Okay. And we're going to take a look at this. I'm going to press this. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can shrink that. Okay, here are some examples. Okay. Uh, Again, a desire statement can be something like, all right, I should be able to navigate. Oh, there we go. There's my little navigation bar. A desire statement is an exact amount of money that I desire by an exact date, which is what we're going to go over above here in the desire statement we're making. Okay. But you might have a business growth idea, okay? A number of new clients or units sold by an exact date. And these are measured desires because you guys have probably been accustomed to learning a particular process like what's your ultimate dream and goal, or do you have a vision board or a dream board, right? And you put these things and you think those are lifetime achievements. But here at Champion Circle, we teach you that you can do these things in 90-day sprints. And that's why we think it's important for you to find an exact date. Another example might be a business marketing strategy goal, right? What it is that you desire it to reach a number of people through a number of events or cause, a community, a campaign, a consistency, something within 90 days, right? Um, you might be thinking more along the lines of like a business acumen goal of something you want or desire, like grow the size of your team, your employees, your contractors, company, or the people you work with, or the environment that you work with. Okay. You might have more of a personal achievement goal, which could be something like the number of books you read, or educational courses you take, or certificates or accolades you earn. You might have a health achievement goal that's like follow a diet plan, or achieve exercise goals, or weight loss, or weight gain, or whatever it might be, or being able to lift a certain amount of weight. I don't know. Or your goal might be something around mindfulness, right? Where it's prayer, spirituality, meditation, maybe it's relationships, whatever it might be, your goal can consist of one of those things. But ultimately, ultimately, your desire statement is going to reflect about around something you need to do or earn in order to get there. So that's number one, or that's most important. All right, next up is that you need to share with yourself consistently what it is that you intend to give, okay? What you intend to give in order to achieve this goal. I usually give myself like a few lines, like I'm going to go all the way across here and I'm going to put another line here. For example, I intend to give my mornings to dedicating myself to be in the right place so that I can achieve what I want to achieve. Or I intend to give up something. I intend to sacrifice. I intend to share. I intend to include other people. But share an intention of what you are prepared to do in order to achieve that goal. Now, this isn't the plan of action. This is just your intention because your goals, your desires are so connected to who you are and what it is that you want, that you need to make sure that you're willing to sacrifice or put things on hold or to give things better and greater consideration in order to achieve this. So I hope that is clear. So if you're following along in the chat, which I'm just now looking at, I'll catch up and look at everyone else's in just a second. But okay, Leanna says, I'm not seeing any writing on the whiteboard. Is that true for everyone else? Man, I wish I could see everybody. I could see.
I'm seeing what you're doing.
Okay. Willie says,
Oh,
I am
William.
not either. Okay, interesting. Let me really quick, let me look to see if I can share this. I need to share it with everybody. Interesting. Okay. Well, if you can't see my screen, this is what I want you to write down. I'm going to put it in the chat section. Okay. So you should see this here. My desire statement. I'll put it in the chat so everyone can see it. My statement of desire, the exact amount of money I desire is, and you're going to fill in the blank. Okay. And then you're going to write this phrase. Okay. I intend to give. Okay. Or I intend to share, or I intend to give up or sacrifice. What do you intend to do in the effort of achieving that goal? So you should see that in the chat section right now. Um, and Willie, like it or give me a thumbs up if you are seeing it in the chat section, just to make sure everyone's seeing that. Because anyone watching the recording will definitely see my whiteboard. Okay, awesome. So take a minute, take 60 seconds. Okay, I'll put some more music back on, some ethereal awesomeness. Okay, take 60 seconds to write down that phrase and fill in the blanks. This is a really important process for all of us. And we'll be done here in just a few minutes, but this is sort of the wrapping up section of this workshop is we really need to get into a formality of focusing on what it is that we truly desire and what we want. All right. Take 60 seconds to do so. I'll put a timer on here. Awesome. You should see 1 minute on my screen. Take just 60 seconds. The exact amount of money that I desire is, and I'll give you an example. Mine says the exact amount of money I desire is $20,000. I intend to give up TV and time wasting activities in order to acquire the $20,000. That's my example. Take 30 more seconds. As you wrap that up, I'm going to go back to my whiteboard. I'm going to make sure that I'm continuing this. Yeah, open that. Okay, there we go. And something I think that it's important to recognize if you're looking at my screen is this. In return for the money I desire. Okay, that might be something that helps with writing that, right? Dot, dot, dot. In return for the money that I desire. But the next portion of this process, and again, just follow along and go with it because I'm going to share with you some of the incredible testimonials of people who have put this into action. The next step is to write, I intend to possess this money by boom. And I'm just going to take this line right here and I'm just going to boom right there. And I want you to put an exact date. Okay. Put an exact date down. And for those of you who can't see this, I am going to copy and paste it into the chat section for your use. Let's go back to the chat. Okay, that's interesting. Maybe you guys can't see what I'm seeing because I'm actively writing it, but thank you for that image, Willie. All right, so I've just added it to the chat. This is where we're at, right? It just popped up. Okay, cool. So I think I need to click out of it. But as you're following along, I'll also put it in the chat section so you can also acquire it. For those of you who didn't get to see it earlier, here are the different desires. Okay, awesome. I'm seeing some thumbs up. Here are the different things. You might have a desire statement, a business growth statement, a business marketing statement, a business acumen statement, a personal achievement statement, a health and fitness achievement. Okay. I'm going to put this in the chat as well, just so that we don't miss anyone or anybody. But take the moment now, okay, to review some of those. You might have some of those goals, but not to confuse anyone. We're talking about this right here. Hey, my desire statement. Maybe I'll add some cool stuff like this. Boom. Okay. So you guys are probably hopefully seeing that. Take another 20 seconds to just fill in that blank. So I intend to possess this money by. Now, if anyone is curious, the date today is the 24th of January. And no matter what that means for you, I encourage you to write down 90 days from now. So you're looking at the end of, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think you're looking at April 24th as your end date to achieving that 90 days. Okay. Lauren says, if you want to grow your clientele, then how many do you need to acquire to reach your desired financial goal? There you go. So if you have a business that has a particular structure and how you charge people and you know exactly what you want, let's say it's $20,000 and each client brings you in 1,000, you're going to need 20 clients in 90 days to achieve that goal. All right. I'm going to keep going, but just follow along and I'll keep doing this process of adding it to the chat and everything else. The next thing you're going to share, and again, you can put this as I intend to possess this money by, and then put down an exact date. Right here, you're going to put my plan of action to acquire, and you're going to put in, I should put this, the dollar sign, and then boom, this is boom. And whatever you think you need, okay, if you need one plan of action, if you need two plans of action, or if you need three plans of action, whatever you think you need to achieve that, right? I want you to, start to work on that. Let me post this in the chat and click outside so you guys can see it too. Boom. There you go. So think of it this way. If you have a fitness goal, okay, what is your plan to achieve that fitness goal? What is your plan to lose 20 pounds or 50 pounds, or to run a mile, or to run the 4-minute mile? That'd be cool, right? But just what is it? My plan of action to acquire that amount of money or to achieve that goal is 1, 2, and 3. And this is going to be the most significant part of this plan, because you have to give yourself specific measurable details. And while you guys work on that, I'm going to type the final part that I recommend: a declaration every single day that I will proceed today with the belief that by taking these actions, I am already in possession of my desires. Sign it, date it, whatever you want to do. Okay. We exit out of here so you guys can kind of see what this looks like. Boom. You've got your desire statement, right? So the amount of money I desire is blank. And again, you can fill that in with any one of these awesome goals that you can set for yourself. But the amount of money that I desire is blank. And I'll just read to you my example. The exact amount of money I desire is $20,000. I intend to give up TV and time wasting activities in order to acquire the $20,000. I will possess the $20,000 by April 5th, 2024. Or for you guys, you could pick April 24th, 2024. It doesn't matter. It's your 90-day sprint. My plan of action to acquire $20,000 is to focus daily on my email marketing strategy, to do extra jobs and side hustles with my spouse, to sell unnecessary belongings, to book 3 speaking gigs over the next 3 months, to budget and don't overspend, and then to socially sell and go live as much as I can. Those are 6 things that I came up with that will help me. And then finally, I will proceed today with a belief that by taking these actions, I am already in possession of my desires. Forgot to post this in the chat, so let me make sure that I did that. Okay. In the chat, adding it. And I'm just going to post this whole thing in the chat so that you don't miss anything, nor does confusion set in. All right. Boom. It is all. It's probably too long, so let me try again. There we go. So there it is in the chat for all of you to try. And again, if you're taking notes and writing at home, this is an example of your desire statement. Now, if you go to one of our Champion Circle meetings, the team will always have a physical card there waiting for you. But let me just give you guys a minute to write that down. Let me click out of here so you have that. Give me another 60 seconds to start writing these down. And again, this might take more time if you really are diving into this. But again, if you're just going to write down what your goal is, what your desire is, this desire statement will help you. And I'll share the testimonials and the raving reviews of why this is such a powerful process after you've done it. Lead with faith and know that you're in good hands. Take 60 seconds to write these down. Take another 15 seconds to do so. Okay, I'm going to remove the whiteboard and I'm going to encourage you, if you will, to type into the chat your desire statement. I have mine in a little note card here, and I'd love to see your desire statements so we can talk about them. Awesome. I see that Lauren has hers. For those of you hanging out in the audience as attendees, please, if you feel brave and you'd love some commentary or some thoughts on it, please type it in. I'd love to hear. I'd love to see it. And you can all make it one paragraph. It doesn't have to be organized and spaced out like mine is. But I've got to tell you, since 2016, since I've started this process, and I've done this every year since, I've had amazing things happen to me. I've not only reached so many of my financial goals, but I've also started some incredible businesses. I've met amazing people. I've sat on the coolest stages, taking in that breath of desire that was a dream of mine that I developed over the years. I found myself in a place that I didn't know was real because I was stuck at a corporate job that I loathed internally, but lied to myself that I had a love for everyone around me and what I was doing. It's never, ever too late to do what you truly desire. And I share this with you because I'm just one example. In the first 6 to 12 months of me quitting my job and moving on with my life in a direction that was in congruence with my beliefs and my true desires, my obsessions, I completely transformed my life, the way I was living, the way I was doing things. And it gave me a sense of fulfillment. So I share with you these ideas because I know they work. And I'm just one of the millions of millionaires who who have gone before us and have tried these methodologies and have succeeded and attest to the power of the desire statement and achieving their goals. So I see a few chats coming up and we'll comment on those in a minute. But I also have friends, I have colleagues, I have people here in Champion Circle who have overcome great challenges in their lives, oppositions, mountains they had to climb in order to achieve their goals. All right, the music was helping me get into the mood, but I'll cue out the music here for a second and just share with you that this really does work. And you can try it, but my recommendation is what do you have to lose? If you have been struggling to achieve your goals, if you have been fighting to find purpose and fulfillment in what you're doing, if you have really just felt like you've been serving so many people and not yourself for the longest time, isn't it about time you put yourself first to become the true champion that you are and to finally obtain the desires that you most want? I encourage you to write those things down. And if you go back to the T, oh, I won't mess with the whiteboard since it's not visible for everybody. If you go back to the T chart on the left side, it says what I want. Hopefully you've got a list of things. I started writing things down the other day, some things that were just inspiring to me. And I put some physical goals down, like I want to run a 5 minute mile. I want to run a 50-second 400 meter again. I want to run a marathon, a triathlon. I want to do 100 push-ups in one go. I want to do 100 sit-ups in one sitting or under 60 seconds. I want to do 30 pull-ups in one place. Probably not on the same day. It's a lot of work. I want to be able to do a backflip again. I want to play volleyball year round and win a fours tournament, win a twos tournament. I want to bike across Yellowstone. That just came up to me the other day. I was like, I want to ride my bike across Yellowstone and say hi to what's the actor's name in the TV show at Yellowstone? Kevin Costner. I always say hi to Kevin Costner as I go by his land, and he'll say, "Get off my land." Um, I want to backpack 75 miles. Hike tip to tip the Wind River Mountain Range in Wyoming. I want to be able to touch my toes without pain. As an ex-athlete, I have a lot of pain, right? I want to scuba dive. I want to see the underworld, right? I want to go and kayak. And these are just a few of the physical goals I just found myself dreaming about the other day. And I wrote these down. But when it comes to financial numbers, I wrote down a bunch of great numbers that I thought, you know what? That's something that I can do this year. $20,000 in 3 months is nothing compared to most salary-based positions. And an extra 20K is not something that's too hard. But you know what? My goals are mine, and I don't want you to adopt my goals because you should find your own true desires. I know some of you have written down things that you want to save money, to overcome challenges. And I'm going to read through some of these. I'm not going to pick on anyone specifically, but I want to share with you the light, the inspiration behind it. And then we'll get into the why, and then we'll wrap today's meeting up. First, I got Leanna, and Leanna says, "I desire to pay $1,000 on my credit card. I want, I intend to give up eating out and on my Sundays to work a little bit to achieve that." Thank you, Leanna, for sharing that. Lauren says, "The exact amount of money I desire is $8,000. I intend to give up 1 hour a day of scrolling and busy work, quote unquote, busy work, in exchange to acquire 8K. I will possess the 8K by Friday, April 5th. Love that. My plan of action to acquire 8K by one, making videos for her company. Two, make 10 new videos a week and schedule out her posts. That's awesome. And then don't forget to include, of course, and I know you have it, your declaration statement at the bottom of there. William says he wants the exact weight he wants to lose is 20 pounds. I love this. Uh, I intend to give up watching videos and time wasting laying down activities in return for the weight I desire. I intend to possess the loss by April 1st. Oh, I love that. My plan of action involves 10,000 steps, 1 gallon of water, 8 hours of sleep, and hitting my macros. I'm in possession of my desires. I love this. And I just want to say how excited I am for each person's desires. Everyone's different. And it helps us to have this statement. What I highly recommend you do, and what Napoleon Hill recommends you do in Think and Grow Rich. I'm always looking over to my left because I'm grabbing books as we speak. But what Napoleon Hill recommends you do is that you take this and that you put it somewhere. Take it with you everywhere you go. I have a copy in my bathroom. I have a copy in my car. I have a copy everywhere. Okay. But what I do with this is I repeat it as often as I can at a minimum, twice a day, once in the morning and once at night. Once when you wake up, once before you retire to bed. Doing this daily will keep your mind focused on your desire. And this is how you turn a want into an obsession. You might have written a list of things you want on that T chart. On the right side of that T chart, I want you to write obsession. Okay, obsession. And on that obsession, it really should just be one thing. All the wants and wishes are important and we'll come to those. But until you've achieved your obsession, none of those things will matter until you've reached it. There's a famous story or example in Think and Grow Rich. And I think we had a debate the other day that it wasn't actually the Vikings, but let's just take, for example, the Vikings. Okay. We were talking about this the other day. And they were riding their ships to battle. They were in these ships at sea heading to battle. And they knew that battle would win them glory, would win them freedom, would win them so many other things that they were going to battle for. And in any sense, a relative sense, every day we go to battle. We go to battle for our true authenticity, for our desires, for what we want. And when the ships landed on the continent that they were going to battle on, it was interesting that they let their ships sink and they lit them on fire. There's a phrase called burn the ships, okay? Burning the ships behind them. And the reason why these warriors burnt the ships behind them is because they wanted to remove all options of cowardly retreat. And so what we do here is we burn our ships. We take away the distractions. And if there's one desire, burning hot desire, an obsession that we want to achieve and acquire right in this moment, whether it's a credit card, 20 pounds, 8K, 20K, doesn't matter. But what matters is it's yours and it's yours for the taking. You are in possession of this already. You just need to take the steps necessary to have it in reality. That is the power of desire. I can go through these books. I can ask incredible questions. I can share a lot of this. But there's just one last thing I want to cover and share with you the power of this. And then we'll get into wrapping this meeting up. Napoleon Hill writes, remember that all who succeed in life get off to a bad start and pass through many heartbreaking struggles before they quote unquote arrive. I'll have to put the air quotes arrive. The turning point in the lives of those who succeed usually come at the moment of some crisis through which they are introduced to their quote unquote other selves. What is the turning point in your life? So many people have this other selves moment when they've just had enough, sick and tired of being sick and tired, living paycheck to paycheck, or not having what it is they truly want, feeling gross and not understanding how beautiful they truly are in the mirror when they look at themselves every day, not having what it is that they absolutely want. It's killing us. So just like the warriors Napoleon Hill described, burn those ships, get rid of them. There's no option anymore for cowardly retreat. You are brave, you are strong, you are capable, you are absolutely possible. You are the writer, the author, the scriber of your own story. You are the hero of that story. You are the champion in your own personal competition. You are the winner. You just need to step into your reality. And that is something that I have seen so many people do as they have followed along with this book, with this methodology, with this training, and they have done incredible things for themselves. This has been an absolute incredible path for me, for my colleagues, for my friends here at Champion Circle. And it has been something that I have found to be consistently and relevantly important in the lives of so many. And I want to make sure that you follow this. So today, again, today's topic and focus was accelerating desires into results. And the only way that you can accelerate your desires into a result is by writing down your desire statements. It is so simple. You must write these things down and repeat them. Repeat them every single day. That is the Think and Grow Rich way. I am so grateful for this and I have achieved a ton, but yet every year it changes and gets more and more better or different or exciting or even an expansion to who I was and what I did before. And some years I've taken steps back and I said, I'm going to simplify. But every single time I stick to this, I'm disciplined. I burned my ships and I made this the only obsession that I focus on. It has led to great results. And I want to address one thing that might be concerning to some of you, which is if this becomes my obsession and I cut other people out of my life in order to achieve this, what are the repercussions? What are the consequences of that? And I can promise you that the more you communicate with yourself and with others what it is that you truly desire, you will find the enhancements and benefits in your life that will grow within you and around you rather than pull you down. Okay. There's a law called Murphy's Law. And Murphy's Law is like a Murphy bed in the spare bedroom. Sometimes it's, no, never mind. It's always uncomfortable. And Murphy is like a pain in the back. It is always there. And if it's not one problem in your life, it's another problem. If it's not one or the other, it's a dozen problems. But that's because of your mindset. Think and Grow Rich isn't a get rich quick book. It is a think and grow rich methodology, which is the only sustainable mindset proven path that I have found thus far in my life to achieve the goals I want to achieve. My name is Jon Kovach Jr., and I proudly present to you your desire statement. Live and proceed every single day with the belief that by taking the actions that you have just written down, that you have just committed to, that you are already in possession of your desires. Thank you so much for the evening, and I will open it up for Q&A or any other additional thoughts, questions, and ideas, thoughts, anything. I'll open it up. I'll cue in some music, but I'm here for a few minutes to share and to give you. And if you're watching this recording, take advantage of the Champion Circle resources available to you. Send us an email at team@mychampionscircle.com is the email, and let us know what your desire statement is, and we'll send you an official card that you can use to write down and put it throughout your house. Some of you who are currently members watching this, you already have that card, or we can get you or supply you with another. But we're so excited to share this with you. All right, I'll open it up for Q&A. I'll stop the recording and just let me know if you need anything in the process of achieving this goal. Thank you so much. Lauren, back to you.
Thank you, John. I think that was exactly what we needed tonight. I love going deeper into it. And like you said earlier, every time you learn something new. This is like my fourth time going through Think and Grow Rich, and something hits different every single time. So I hope that all of you have gleaned something, and I mean, we're privileged to be able to hear from John tonight and walk us through this. So thank you, and thank you for checking out Champion Circle and being with us tonight.
Thank you very much. I'll stop the recording.